On my wedding day, I was publicly disrespected for my income. 2 years later, I chose solitude, success, and an exit they never recovered from. You know what your problem is? You've always been comfortable being mediocre. My father-in-law said this into a microphone during his wedding toast, in front of 200 guests, while my bride sat next to me, saying nothing. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. I was 29, a graphic designer making decent money, marrying the woman I'd spent 4 years building a life with. Decent wasn't enough for her family. The reception hall went silent. I felt every pair of eyes on me, waiting to see if I'd break. My wife, God, she was my wife now, touched my arm. Not comforting. Warning. Her touch said, don't make a scene. Don't embarrass us further. I didn't stand up. I didn't walk out. I sat there and took it, because I loved her, and because I believed love was supposed to be enough. Her father continued. But Diana has always seen potential where others see limitations. That's the kind of woman she is. We raised her to lift people up. Applause followed. Actual applause. They were celebrating the idea that my wife was doing charity work by marrying me. I looked at Diana. She was smiling at her father, nodding slightly, agreeing. The next 2 years were a slow-motion disaster I didn't see coming. Or maybe I saw it and chose not to believe it. Diana's family owned a commercial real estate business. Her brother ran operations. Her father handled acquisitions. Her mother managed the properties. They offered me a job 3 months after the wedding. Sales associate. Her father said over Sunday dinner. Get your foot in the door. Learn the business. Diana squeezed my hand under the table. It's a good opportunity, she said. Translation. Take it or prove I'm right about you. I took it. The salary was less than what I made as a designer. They called it an investment in my future. I called it what it was, a leash. For 18 months, I worked under Diana's brother, Trevor. Trevor was 34 and had never worked anywhere else. He'd been handed his position at 23, right out of college, and spent a decade coasting on his father's reputation. He treated me like an intern. Can you make copies of these contracts? I need coffee. There's a place 2 blocks down. Reschedule my 2 o'clock. I'm golfing. I did it all. Diana said I was being sensitive. Trevor's just intense. That's how successful people operate. He asked me to pick up his dry cleaning. And it's called being a team player. I stopped complaining. Not because she was right, but because I realized she'd never take my side against her family. Blood was thicker than vows. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. I'd spent 3 weeks putting together a proposal for a mixed-use development project. Research, financial projections, site analysis, everything. I presented it in the weekly meeting. Trevor listened for 90 seconds, then cut me off. This is amateur hour. Did you even look at the zoning restrictions? I did. They're outlined on page 7. I'm not reading 7 pages of guesswork. If you can't summarize it in 30 seconds, it's not worth my time. Diana's father was in that meeting. He didn't intervene. He sat there, nodding along with his son. After the meeting, Trevor pulled me aside. Look, I know Diana loves you, but you're out of your depth here. Stick to what you're good at. Making things look pretty. That night, I told Diana I was quitting. She didn't yell. She cried. You're giving up. Just like my dad said you would. I'm not giving up. I'm leaving a job where I'm disrespected daily. You're disrespected because you haven't earned their respect yet. You've been there less than 2 years. Your brother's been there 12 and still doesn't know what he's doing. She stopped crying. Her face went cold. Don't talk about my family like that. Then don't let them talk about me like I'm a charity case. She left the room. I quit the next day. Diana didn't speak to me for 3 days. When she finally did, it was to tell me her parents were disappointed. Not in the situation. In me. They gave you a chance, and you threw it away. They gave me busy work and humiliation. You're so obsessed with being respected that you can't see when people are trying to help you. I went back to freelance design. Within 2 months, I was making more than I ever had at her family's company. Diana didn't congratulate me. She asked why I couldn't have done this while working for them. You had the time. You just didn't have the work ethic. That hurt worse than her father's toast. Because it meant she'd always believed it. Our apartment became a Cold War zone. She stayed late at her parents' house. I worked in the spare bedroom until 2, 3 in the morning. We had sex twice in 6 months. Both times felt like obligation. When we did talk, it was about logistics. Bills, groceries, whose turn it was to take out the trash. Never about us. Never about how we'd become strangers sharing a lease. The final straw wasn't dramatic. It was a Sunday in November. Her family's annual Thanksgiving early celebration. They did it the weekend before the actual holiday, some tradition her grandmother started. I didn't want to go. Diana insisted. It's family. You're part of this family. I wasn't, but I went. Dinner was the usual performance. Her father talking about deals. Trevor one-upping everyone's stories. Her mother passive-aggressively commenting on the weight and career choices of relatives who weren't there. Then her father turned to me. So, how's the graphic design thing going? Still doing logos for startups. The way he said thing made it sound like a lemonade stand. It's going well. I'm actually working with some major clients now. Major? Trevor repeated, smirking. What's major in the design world? A local restaurant chain. Diana laughed. Not a polite chuckle. A real laugh. Like her brother had said something genuinely funny. I set down my fork. I signed a contract with a national retail brand last month. 6 figures. The table went quiet. Her father recovered first. Well, that's great. Good for you. He didn't mean it. Trevor looked annoyed. Diana looked embarrassed. Not proud. Embarrassed that I'd made them look wrong. After dinner, in the car, she let me have it. You didn't have to brag like that. I stated a fact. You made it awkward. My dad was just making conversation. Your dad was being condescending. Your brother was being an ass. And you laughed. It was funny. I pulled over. We were 2 blocks from our apartment, but I couldn't keep driving. Do you even like me? She blinked. What kind of question is that? A simple one. Do you like who I am? Or do you just love the idea of who you think I could be? You're being dramatic. Answer the question. She stared out the window. I married you, didn't I? That's not an answer. I don't know what you want me to say. The truth. She turned to me, and for the first time in months, I saw something real in her eyes. Not love. Resentment. I want you to be someone my family respects. I want to be proud when people ask what my husband does. I want more. More than me. She didn't deny it. I started the car and drove the rest of the way in silence. I moved out the next morning, grabbed my clothes, my laptop, the few things that were actually mine. She was at her parents' house, of course. I didn't leave a note. I texted her from my friend's couch. I'll have a lawyer contact you about the divorce. She called immediately. I didn't answer. She texted. We can work this out. Don't be rash. Then, 10 minutes later, you're really going to throw away our marriage over one fight? Then, my dad said you'd run when things got hard. I blocked her number. The divorce took 8 months. She fought me on everything. Not because she wanted to stay married, but because she didn't want to look like the bad guy. Her lawyer tried to get alimony. My lawyer laughed him out of the room. We'd been married less than 3 years, and I was making more than her. In the end, we split what little we'd accumulated and went our separate ways. I didn't see her family again. Didn't hear from them. It was like I'd never existed. I threw myself into work. 12, 14-hour days. I took every project that came my way, built a portfolio that spoke for itself. Within a year, I doubled my client base. Within 18 months, I hired 2 junior designers. By the 2-year mark after leaving Diana, I had a small agency. 6 employees, an office in a decent part of town, clients in 4 countries. I wasn't rich, but I was successful by any reasonable measure. More importantly, I was happy, not the frantic, prove them wrong happiness that fueled the first year. Real contentment. I worked with people who respected my ideas. I made decisions without someone second-guessing my competence. I woke up without that knot in my stomach. I dated occasionally. Nothing serious. I wasn't ready for serious, and I was honest about that. Most women appreciated the honesty. One didn't. You're emotionally unavailable, she said after our 4th date. I'm just not looking for a relationship right now. Because of your ex-wife. Because I like my life the way it is. She called me selfish. Maybe she was right. I didn't care enough to argue. I ran into Diana's brother on a random Thursday. Coffee shop near my office. He was in line ahead of me. Didn't notice me until I was standing next to him. Oh, hey. He looked uncomfortable. Good. Trevor. How've you been? Great. You? Yeah, good. Busy. Always busy. The barista called his name. He grabbed his coffee, hesitated, then turned back to me. Look, for what it's worth, I didn't think you'd actually make it. On your own, I mean. I know. But Diana mentioned you're doing well. The agency thing. She mentioned that? He shifted his weight. We had lunch a few months ago. She asked if I'd heard anything about you. And I told her I hadn't. But then I looked you up. Your website's impressive. I didn't thank him. Is there a point to this? No point. Just, good for you, I guess. He left. I stood there, coffee in hand, wondering why Diana was asking about me. I found out 3 weeks later. She showed up at my office. My assistant buzzed me. "There's a Diana here to see you. She doesn't have an appointment." I should have said I was busy. I said, "Send her in." She looked good. Different haircut, more professional clothes. But tired. There were lines around her eyes that hadn't been there before. "Nice office," she said, looking around. "Thanks. I'm not here to cause problems." "Okay." She sat down without being invited. I wanted to apologize. I waited. For how things ended. For how I treated you during the marriage. For a lot. Apology noted. "That's it. What do you want me to say?" She looked down at her hands. "I don't know. I guess I hope we could talk." "Really talk? About what?" "About us. About what went wrong." "I know what went wrong. So do I. Now." She met my eyes. "I let my family's opinion matter more than my own. I let them make me believe you weren't enough, when the truth is, I wasn't enough. For you." I leaned back in my chair. "Why are you here, Diana?" "Because I miss you. You miss the idea of me. Just like you love the idea of who I could be, not who I was." "That's not fair." "It's accurate." She stood up. "I'm trying to make amends." "I don't need your amends. I need you to leave." Just like that. Just like that. She walked to the door, stopped with her hand on the handle. "For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. What you've built. Who you've become. It's worth nothing." She flinched. "Because you became this in spite of me, not because of me." She left without another word. I sat there for a long time after she was gone. Not sad. Not angry. Just empty. My assistant knocked. "You okay?" "Yeah, I'm good." And I was. 6 months after Diana's visit, I got an email from her father. Subject line, business opportunity. I almost deleted it. Curiosity won. He wanted to meet. Said he had a proposal that would benefit both of us. I agreed to coffee. Public place, 30-minute limit. He showed up in a suit that probably cost more than my first car. Sat down, ordered an espresso, got straight to business. "I'm sure you're wondering why I reached out. I'm assuming you want something." He smiled. Not warmly. Direct. "I appreciate that." "Yes, I want something. I want to hire your agency." I laughed. Actually laughed. "You're serious?" "Completely. We're rebranding. New logo, new website, new marketing materials. I've seen your work. It's exactly what we need." "No. I'm prepared to offer you double your standard rate." Triple wouldn't change my answer. He set down his cup. "You're still bitter. I'm still uninterested. This is business. Personal feelings shouldn't factor in. Then hire someone else. There are hundreds of agencies that would take your money, but none with your particular motivation to make us look good." I stood up. "We're done here. Sit down. Please." Something in his voice made me pause. Not authority. Desperation. I sat. "What's really going on?" He was quiet for a moment. "Trevor's been running the company into the ground. Made some bad investments, alienated key clients. The business is struggling. And you think a new logo will fix that?" "I think presenting a fresh image while we restructure might keep us afloat long enough to fix the real problems." "Why tell me this?" "Because I want you to know I'm not coming to you from a position of power. I'm asking for help. You've never asked me for anything. You've given orders, made assumptions, passed judgment. But you've never asked." "I know. Do you? Do you actually know what you put me through?" He looked old suddenly. Tired. "Diana told me. About the toast. About how Trevor treated you. About all of it. And I was wrong. About you. About what kind of man you were. Are. I was wrong about what kind of man you are." I finished my coffee. "I'll think about it. That's all I'm asking." I didn't think about it. I obsessed over it. Not because I wanted to help him. Because I wanted to understand why he thought I would. Was it guilt? Pride? Some twisted sense that I owed them something? My business partner, Marcus, said I was overthinking it. It's simple. They need you. You don't need them. Charge them out the ass and donate the money to charity if it makes you feel better. It's not about the money. Then what's it about? I don't know. But I did know. It was about proving that I didn't need their validation. That I could turn them down and feel nothing. I called Diana's father a week later. "I'll take the project. Standard rates, non-negotiable contract, minimal contact with Trevor. Done. And one more thing. Name it. Diana's not involved in any capacity. No meetings, no approvals, no updates. She doesn't exist in this transaction." Silence. Agreed. The project took 3 months. It was some of the best work my team had ever done. Clean, modern, professional. Exactly what they needed. I met with her father twice. Once for the initial brief, once for final approval. Both meetings were cordial, professional. He didn't try to apologize again. Didn't ask about my personal life. treated me like any other contractor. It was exactly what I wanted. So why did it feel hollow? The final invoice went out in July, paid in full within a week. Her father sent a brief email. Thank you for your professionalism. Best of luck. That was it. 2 years of marriage, 2 years of recovery, reduced to a transactional relationship that lasted 12 weeks. I should have felt vindicated. I felt tired. Marcus threw a celebration at the office. Biggest single project we've landed. That's worth champagne. We drank. We celebrated. We moved on to the next thing. Life continued. I hired 3 more people. Landed a contract with an international hotel chain. Bought a house. Small but mine. No one to consult. No one to compromise with. I dated a woman named Claire for 7 months. She was a veterinarian, funny, kind, uncomplicated. We had fun together. But when she started talking about moving in together, I panicked. I'm not ready for that. It's been 7 months. I know. What are you afraid of? I'm not afraid. I just like things the way they are. You like being alone. Yes. She left. I didn't chase her. Another woman called me emotionally unavailable. She was probably right too. I threw myself into work again. It was easier than examining why I couldn't let anyone in. My parents started asking when I'd settled down again. You're 33. Don't you want a family? I'm happy. Happy alone? Yes. My mother looked sad. That's not happiness. That's resignation. Maybe. But resignation felt safer than vulnerability. I ran into Diana one more time. Grocery store, random Sunday. She was with someone. Tall guy, expensive watch, confident smile. He had his hand on her lower back. Possessive, familiar. She saw me, froze for a second, then smiled. Hey. Hey. This is Andrew. Andrew, this is an old friend. Not her ex-husband. An old friend. Andrew shook my hand. Strong grip, direct eye contact. Everything her family would approve of. Nice to meet you. You too. Diana looked happy. Really happy. Not the performance she used to put on for her family. Genuine. How have you been? She asked. Good. Busy. You. Really good. We just got engaged, actually. She showed me the ring. Big diamond, classic setting. Congratulations. Thank you. Andrew's phone rang. He excused himself, stepped away. Diana moved closer. I'm glad I ran into you. Are you? Yes. I wanted you to know that I'm happy. And I hope you are too. I am. Are you really? Or are you just successful? The question hit harder than it should have. What's the difference? You know the difference. Andrew came back. Ready, babe? Yeah. She looked at me one more time. Take care of yourself. They walked away. I stood there, basket in hand, suddenly aware of how quiet my apartment would be when I got home. How it was always quiet. How I'd chosen that quiet. Chosen it over the noise of compromise, of fighting, of trying to be enough for someone who'd never see me that way. But I'd also chosen it over connection, over the risk of being known, over the possibility that someone might actually see me and stay. I finished shopping, went home, made dinner for one, worked until midnight, went to bed in a house that was mine and mine alone. And somewhere around 2 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, I realized something. I'd won. I'd proven them all wrong. Built something from nothing, succeeded on my own terms, walked away with my dignity intact. I'd won every argument we never finished. But I was alone. By choice, yes, but still alone. And for the first time in 2 years, I wondered if winning had been worth it. If proving I didn't need anyone had cost me the ability to want anyone. If the walls I'd built to keep out humiliation had also locked out everything else. I didn't have an answer. I'm still not sure I do. But I know this. I chose solitude over settling. Success over acceptance. An exit over fighting for something that was already gone. They never recovered from losing me. Her father's business stabilized, but never grew the way it should have. Trevor's still making the same mistakes. Diana found someone new. But I know what she lost when I left. Not my potential. My reality. And I walked away from a family that saw me as a project, a wife who saw me as a disappointment, and a life that required me to be smaller than I was. I don't regret it. But some nights, in the quiet I chose, I wonder what it would feel like to let someone in again. To risk being seen and rejected. To try. Most nights, I don't wonder long. I've built a good life. A successful life. A life on my terms. If it's a lonely one, well, that's the price of peace. And I've paid worse.